Right, so just a quick video on some kind of repurposed food, or food that you can repurpose into kind of like MRE'S or ready to eat meals. They're not all completely ready to eat, but some of them are, some of them aren't. I'll show you what I've got and some ideas. So these microwave rice, a lot of people don't realise that you don't have to do them in a microwave. You can do these in a pan with 2 tablespoons of water into the saucepan. So 2 tablespoons of water, that's no water, you know, hardly any water at all. So you're not going to end up wasting a lot of water trying to cook things. So they're pretty good, and I reckon you could probably just eat them as they are. And they're thin, you know, and pack away quite small. These kind of pasta things, noodles, these are good, but the only thing I don't like about these is you have to put quite a bit of water in them and boil it for quite a long time. Because I often take these in the woods with chorizo, right? And you can do that in no time. And we'll get to the chorizo in a minute, I'll explain. So that's the only thing with noodles. They're not really ready to eat, but they are nice and small and pack away and is some sort of food. I've got things here like, this one isn't ready to eat, but it's relatively simple. So we've got tomato and garlic couscous. You need little water for that, not a lot. Depends if you like these kind of things. I'm not that keen on that, but I would eat it if I had to. Cup of soups and things like that, they're pretty decent. And what I normally do is use those either as a drink or add them to something else. I've also got pumpkin soup mix, so that's something you could either have on its own or add that to something. And the same thing here, I've got like a carbonara thing. Now ready to eat ones are really only in this lot. The rice, this kind of, it's like a ready-made, like a tuna salads type thing. I'm going to try and get it out here, but it comes in like this tin thing. You rip it open, you got a spoon and that. That's ready to eat, relatively small to pack away. Calorie wise, 218 calories per pack. And the rice is 199 calories per half a pack. Because they probably assume that you would cut that in half, you know, have half of that per person. So I've also got chorizo and sliced turkey. Now, seems weird, but you could take things like that. See, that packs away nice and flat. To be honest, this one, you do need to keep it refrigerated. So you might want to find something, similar thing, doesn't need refrigeration. Or, depends if you're going to use this within the day, probably be right. Or a cold climate. But that is some type of meat. I know it's processed and all that, but that's some type of meat you can eat straight away and add it to other foods. Whereas the chorizo, that is just, you know, it doesn't really matter. As far as I know, you don't need, well, it does say keep refrigerated, but that stuff lasts good. And that, you can just pick that off and eat it if you want it. What I normally do is I end up taking some rice, a cup of soup, and some chorizo, and so what I do then is I open the chorizo, cut it up into slices, put this in a pan with a little bit of water, cook it up a bit, add some more water, and then put one of these minestrone soups in there, and then at the end put the chorizo in there as well, cook it up for a bit, keep it nice and wet, you know, so it's got a fair bit of liquid in it, cook it up a bit more in a mess tin, and then eat that. And I'll tell you what, that is absolutely lovely. It doesn't take long at all. Oh, so another one is things like that. Beans, little tins of beans is probably a good idea to take as a repurposed kind of food. When I mean repurposed, I mean it as in, you know, these foods aren't kind of designed for camping, but I reckon you could, or, you know, bushcraft and survival, but you could get away with using these type of things. Little tins of beans is good because obviously it doesn't take up too much room, but all the big tins do. And the other thing I noticed, it's just such a shame that there's tons of tins what are basically, you know, ready to eat meals. You can just open a tin and eat them. Beans you can, you don't need to cook that. You just rip that lid off and eat it. But tins is always a little bit inconvenient. So what you could do, if you've got some decent bags and you're going to use them, you know, within what does it normally say? Consume within 2 days. You probably could get away with a little bit longer, but open them up and put them into Ziploc bags. You could put all sorts of things like that, and then take them as MRE'S. You could even heat them up in the bag or put them in a mess tin. So a couple of other things I've got is I've got stock cubes. Well, stock cubes are handy for spicing things up, you know. We've also got these things called soba noodles, and these don't take long. 5 minutes in it doesn't actually say how much water, but you know, just put some water in. So that's 5 minutes for them. You could always add a stock cube and some bits of, you know, ham or turkey breast, that is. Rip it up, add it to the noodles. One of them, you know, be an alright meal. Another thing I've got is this. This is actually Weight Watchers, but it's actually cereal, like in a bag. You will need milk unless you don't mind eating it with water. But you could use powdered milk. It won't taste as good, but that packs relatively flat. You know, it's a bag. Will go in your bag easy as well. Oh no, I'll show you them. No, yeah, soups and like sauces and stuff. So like I said, tins is always a good one, but their shape and their weight is always an inconvenient thing. But you can get all sorts of tins what you can just open and eat. But these rices are good, and you can get quite a lot of different ones. If you go to supermarket, you can get all sorts of different kind of flavour ones. It's not just golden vegetable. You know, got normal white rice, all sort of Mexican ones, chicken and sweet corn ones, loads of them. And they are very quick to cook. And I think, to be honest, you could just eat that out of the packet, I reckon, if it came to it. Right, so there's a couple of repurposed foods that you could use, kind of like MRE'S or, you know, simple to cook foods. Right, so cheers for watching, and I'll see you later. Also, just before we go, 2 others which I've just forgotten. There's loads more, you know, think of them. This isn't such a good one. This stuff tastes lovely, but this takes a while to cook. Super rice. It says it's ready in 10 minutes, but I'll tell you, this takes quite a bit of water to cook this. You know, it's completely dry rice, takes quite a bit of water, and I hate wasting water. Because when I go camping, normally it's somewhere where there isn't water. So in the local woods I go to, there's no water you can get to at all. You have to take it all in with you. So I always try to take meals what use minimal water to either wash up or use cooking. So that takes a fair bit of water, but they are good. You know, they've got small that packs away. And the other one is I've got some of these, like, ready to make porridge. It does say that you these are microwave ones, but you could just do these in an in a mess tin or a, you know, metal cup. So golden syrup, oats, porridge, whatever. Right, so again, cheers for watching, I'll see you later.